Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Millar begins now.
Well, locally, both major parties are making a final pitch to Tasmanian voters. The Coalition and Labor promising to work with the state government to deliver on key commitments, no matter who wins tomorrow night.
A cheaper healthcare system is Labor's last word to northern voters.
An investment of $750 million, $250 million over 3 years, for 3 successive years, will ensure that GP practices get the back office support that they need.
Music to the ears of Launceston mum Kobe Gore.
With 4 children at home, I could not afford the $180 fee at the after-hours clinic that is currently available.
The Bass incumbent had Tasmania's highest-ranking politician by her side, but not Scott Morrison. Batting off questions, she's distancing herself from the embattled PM.
So no conspiracy there, just not this time, but he was here last week.
Promising stable economic management, the Liberals are claiming their opponents can't be trusted with the state's coffers. Labor outspending the Coalition 3-1 in Tasmania.
And the only way we're going to have a strong economic future for all of our communities is if we have a Morrison Liberal government re-elected tomorrow.
United in a sea of red, Labor is defending its spending habits.
We are absolutely proud of going into bat for our state and making sure our state gets its fair share.
No matter who wins tomorrow night, both major parties have vowed to work with the state government to ensure Tasmania's funding commitments are delivered.
Well, what Tasmanians want is a federal government that works very closely with the state government in partnership to ensure that the economy remains strong.
Tasmanians will be the deciders on polling day. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, plenty of Tasmanians won't be able to make it to the polls in person tomorrow, with around 6,000 people currently in isolation with COVID. Daily case numbers continue to hover around the 1,000 mark, but have been decreasing over the past 4 days, with 967 new infections recorded overnight. 44 people are currently being treated in hospital with the virus. Only 1 patient remains in ICU. Former Anglican priest Louis Daniels has pleaded not guilty to historic sexual abuse charges. The 74-year-old appeared in Hobart Magistrates Court today, supported by his brother. Police allege the abuse occurred when Mr Daniels lived in Tasmania. He was granted bail and will reappear in the Supreme Court in September. Tasmania's primary school students burned off some extra energy this morning as they embraced Walk Safely to School Day. Now, in its 23rd year, the national campaign is promoting healthy lifestyle choices and responsible road use, not only for students but motorists as well.
Swapping seatbelts for sneakers, drop-off zones were eerily quiet this morning as students travelled on foot to the classroom for National Walk Safely to School Day.
When I rocked up to my place where I was meeting my students, they couldn't wait to all put on their special T-shirts and walk with their friends.
Harrow Primary School was one of 13 in the state that registered in the campaign. Teachers showing students the positive mental and physical benefits of exercise.
If more people walk to school, there'll be more people fit and healthy, and then once you get to school, you'll be more, you could learn more.
They just seem more focused when they come into the classroom.
Students are also being educated about the importance of road safety as they become increasingly aware of motorists who don't obey speed limits.
Sometimes they are going too fast. If I get too close to the road, sometimes they can get a little bit too close.
With police reminding Tasmanians to always drive with caution.
Children are particularly vulnerable. They're smaller, they're harder to see, and sometimes being children they can act impulsively.
Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
And the RACT is pleading for Tasmanians to change their driving behaviours, with a campaign using the hashtag Drive So Others Survive. Stakeholders spent the day paying tribute to the 26 people who have lost their lives on our roads this year.
It's about a healthy respect for what is essentially the most dangerous thing that most of us do on a day-to-day basis.
Meanwhile, police are putting more resources into driver enforcement, having issued more than 700 infringement notices during National Road Safety Week.
The footprint for Tasmania Police will have a dedicated area solely responsible for road policing.
The RACT is confident a road safety inquiry will make recommendations to help reduce the death toll. Well, ground will soon be broken on a new agricultural centre of excellence in the northwest. TasTAFE's Freer Farm in Burnie will host the $5 million centre, which was initially announced in 2018. Stage 1 of the campus is expected to be finished in 2023. The training organisation and UTAS are also partnering to deliver agriculture education. The celebration of Tasmanian women in art is marking a special milestone. In its 20th year, artists from across the state are being recognised for their creativity and passion for the industry, with the awards ceremony taking place tonight.
A brush with fame, women from across the state are being celebrated for their creativity and commitment to art. The annual Women's Art Prize Tasmania shines a spotlight on passion and vision in the industry.
For 20 years, Material Girl and the Women's Art Prize has played such a pivotal role in the Tasmanian arts ecosystem. It has supported, it has showcased, it has started the career trajectory of many of our artists.
In its 20th year, Tasmania's only Women in Art Prize celebrates and fosters the development of artists across the state. Brushing shoulders with some of the best, 25 finalists have been selected from over 200 submissions, with only 3 prizes up for grabs.
We do not envy the position of the judges. It's such a difficult task. I mean, so many amazing artists putting their works forward across different themes, different messages, and powerful works.
It's always different, and it's always so much fun to see which 25 works are chosen. And it is such a diverse range of works and a diverse range of artists as well.
The artwork will be on display in Launceston until July 17.
It's fantastic. It's really great to see a women's prize right here in the beautiful city of Launceston, and to know that we've been having this for many years. I just think it's great.
The travelling art exhibition will make its way to Devonport before concluding in Moona in October. Meanwhile, the Acquisition Award will be announced tonight, with voting for the People's Choice Award open until later in the year. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
As National Volunteers Week comes to an end, St Vincent de Paul is honouring its Tasmanian members who have gone above and beyond over the past 120 years. 1,100 Vinnies volunteers support the not-for-profit organisation across the state, having a positive impact on our community.
It's an opportunity to celebrate and to thank the volunteers who provide invaluable work to all organisations across Tasmania and across Australia.
It's a wonderful, wonderful group here. I'm so glad I found it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Vinnies volunteers play an integral role in helping the vulnerable.
And the time's been locked in for the Roos Hawks game in Hobart in round 19. They'll square off on Saturday, July 23 from 1:45 at Blunston Arena. NBL Coach of the Year Scott Roth has pledged he wants to finish his career in Tasmania, signing on for the next 3 seasons. It's a major coup for the Jack Jumpers to welcome back the man who's quickly become a household name.
He might be an Ohio man at heart, but there's no denying the popularity of this adopted Tasmanian.
How's everyone doing?
Scott Roth has embraced the cult following in the state, bringing ample passion and pride to the Jack Jumpers' top job. And now the big man is here to stay.
I've been fortunate to sign a lot of contracts, some longer, some shorter, some more money, some less money. This was by far the most impactful for my family and myself to sign this contract.
The head coach will remain in the role until the end of the 2024-25 competition, securing his future with the outfit for a chance to build on the legacy he's already cultivated.
The people of Tasmania have been so welcoming, and this is, I said a long time ago, a dream job.
I think the important thing is what we do from here. It's continuous improvement, and we've got to look at ourselves as a club and make sure we continually improve, and Scott's part of that plan.
It comes after revelations that Roth nearly stepped down from the franchise because of homesickness.
It was a tough time, and Scott and I had a number of discussions about it, and thankfully we were able to work it out.
His wife and daughter going on to play an important part in the latest decision.
It was one of the first things my wife and daughter said to me. Within 2 or 3 days, she says, you can't leave here.
After a whirlwind few weeks for the club, the chance to finally celebrate an incredible first season in the competition is now just around the corner, with the inaugural MVP Awards to be held here at Park Elwick tomorrow night.
We've reflected upon it in small parts, but we've moved basically from a grand final series into our MVP preparations for tomorrow night.
But the real break is yet to begin for this American.
When I'm by the pool with a margarita and a cigar back in Florida somewhere.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmanian News.
Tasmanian Tiger Nicola Carey is about to make history when women's T20 cricket makes its debut at the Commonwealth Games. If being picked in the Aussie squad wasn't inspiring enough, the all-rounder has also been buoyed by one Tasmanian's triumph in Tokyo. Cricket and the Commonwealth Games rarely go in the same sentence, but that's about to change. Nicola Carey can't wait to be part of the biggest bash of them all when T20 goes for gold in Birmingham.
We don't do things like this, obviously. I think when I think of Com Games, I think of like the athlete village and getting over there and getting amongst the other athletes, which I think would be really cool.
It's already been a golden year for Carey, helping Tasmania take out a groundbreaking WNCL title. But a medal may outweigh any trophy.
We hold World Cups and Ashes and things like that really highly, and I think this will be up there as well. Com Games don't come around very often, and to be a part of it for the first time is pretty special.
It's not the first time cricket has been played at the Commonwealth Games. A men's 50-over tournament formed part of Kuala Lumpur '98. The women's T20 will mark the sport's long-awaited return when Australia faces Barbados, India and Pakistan in the group stage. And this Tiger may have the edge, having been inspired by Tasmania's recent medal haul in Japan.
Watching the Olympics not so long ago on TV, the girls are getting around that while we're here. I remember watching Ariane Titmus swimming while I think we were in a team meeting. So yeah, it'd be really cool to get over there and experience something really different to what we're used to.
Maybe they'll ride in the slipstream of Ariane's success and become the Terminators of the T20. Tasmanian Matthew Wade has been reprimanded after a change room blow-up in the IPL. Wade was given out LBW to Aussie teammate Glenn Maxwell. Despite suggestions of an inside edge, he was sent on his way and took out his frustration on his bat and his helmet. And practice has taken place for the Basketball 1000 ahead of back-to-back 6-hour races tomorrow and Sunday. 50 teams and more than 160 drivers are competing. And for tonight's Friday Flashback, we've dug into the archive to celebrate the sport of table tennis. The game was covered extensively in the 70s, thanks to the enthusiasm of the late great reporter, Ray James. If athletes today feel the pressure of the camera's gaze, then spare a thought for Launceston's Neil Kerrison and Burnie's Brian Evans as a lens roamed around their table mid-match.
Evans serving 11-14 second set.
The Dowling Street Centre played host to countless regional and state tournaments involving the best in the land.
Women's match between Margaret Walker of Burnie, Sue McLaren also from Burnie, the little left-hander as you saw there.
And much of the coverage was driven by Ray James, a reporter as versatile covering crime.
I'm outside Southside Motors, in which a number of cars were damaged.
As he was getting his blood pressure tested.
But it can lead without treatment to serious heart attacks, is that correct?
Indeed.
So it is one of the most common forms of, say, leading up to heart attacks, is it?
Leading possibly to heart attacks.
But it's fair to say he was most comfortable covering sport, and a wide range of them, which is where table tennis first found its TV exposure.
Ray James was nature's gentleman, in my opinion. He was a guy who's prepared to give lesser-known sports like table tennis and many others a good showing.
Peter Dunphy is a 7-decade veteran of the sport and remembers live telecasts of table tennis from the station's Watchorn Street studio.
They used to have Sunday sport in those days, and we were one of the participants.
Even some of the rules have changed since this film was taken.
Kerrison serving, having won the first set 21-15.
Sets are now played just to 11.
Predominantly for television purposes. That goes back to the early 2000s.
One of the biggest days for table tennis came in 1987 when Tasmania hosted the National Championships.
The final rounds of the men's event were played this morning at the Burnie Police Boys Club.
Venues which are still used today and have heard the screech of shoes and the smacking of ping pong balls for decades. And leagues in Hobart, Launceston, North West Coast and a new one in Port Sorell. Kim, do you think I'll get out of my subs with that plug tonight?
I think you might. It's a good sport, isn't it, Tom?
Excellent.
Good evening. Hobart, 13 degrees. Today all the northern centres reach 15. Temperatures range from -3 at Lyawini to the high today of 16 on Flinders Island and at Bushy Park. King Island, Smithton, St Helens and Friendly Beaches 15, Grove and Strawn 14 degrees. No significant rain today with mostly clear skies, some areas of cloud over the west and far south coastlines. Plenty of cloud over the North Island though, apart from the Territory and northern WA. Tomorrow the high maintains its presence over our region. Several troughs continue over Queensland and northern New South Wales. 5 to 15 knot winds tomorrow, variable over the north, but more southwest-southeasterly elsewhere. So no wind warnings at all, but we have a frost warning for the central north, Midlands and upper Derwent Valley. Hobart for Saturday, partly cloudy, 5 overnight, 13 the top. Medina 1 overnight and 12 the maximum, -1 for Oatlands, 11 the high. Launceston, mainly fine day, partly cloudy, 15 the top, 15 for Devonport as well. Morning frost and mostly sunny for Lyowini, -3 the overnight low. 14 for Burnie, partly cloudy, Strawn 13 and 14 the top for Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow a high of 14 degrees and partly cloudy, Swansea the same, Orford the same. On Sunday, fine and partly cloudy for all again after morning frost patches. The slight chance of a shower over the southwest on Sunday, otherwise another fine day. And on Monday a morning shower over the far south, fine and partly cloudy on the menu again. Sunny and 25 in Perth, fine also in Adelaide and Melbourne. Showers for Sydney and rain in Brisbane. And as usual for this time of year, Darwin is the place to be. Cloudy and 9 in Hobart at the moment, 8 in Launceston, clear in Devonport and 8 degrees. People are asking me, Kim, if I'm wearing this red tie for the election. No, it's for the football. But speaking of the election, I'm going to vote at 4 different polling booths tomorrow. That way I get 4 sausages.
I don't think you can do that, Merv. I'm sure you can't. That is all we have time for tonight. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your democracy sausage. For now, on behalf of the team, good night.